Ms. Henry, we've been talking, you classified this bill when you first came up here as a zoning issue. Was that kind of just, kind of tongue in cheek? Okay. Now, and you've also, we've talked about, of course, the focus is being on abortion clinics. But you also got on here reproductive health centers. Is there a difference of those two?
There can be, and it's been, I've heard some mention that there may be some clinics that feel like that might apply to them that don't do abortion.
Okay. Those two apply to an OBGYN doctor who those types of issues, who delivers children, that's reproductive health in it, during the prenatal stage of their pregnancy. I don't think that'd be your intent. I'm asking seriously.
So, do you have an amendment?
No, I don't. I just kind of read the bill. I'll just point out and then let the body, or you, again, whatever you think that's there. But I mean, would you think that could be?
I don't know of any.
Yeah. Well, I mean, reproductive health is more than abortion, isn't it?
Yep.
I don't know. You tell me.
Your bill, I would expect you to know.
Well, I mean, no, you see,
Are you
have
for this bill?
I am for this bill.
And are you going to be for it tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Transfer it or something.
The reproductive health center, I get that. What about somebody that prescribes?
I guess what I'm saying to you is, do you have any examples or evidence to contradict that this?
Well, I've seen billboards that talk about OBGYN and reproductive health. Reproductive health would be, I assume, the act of procreation and the gestation period and the birth of a child. Would you agree with that?
Sounds like a reproductive cycle there, yes.
Okay, and if somebody was treating the health of those different issues, would it be fair to call them a reproductive health center?
I guess they wanted to name that. That would be.
And if they did name it that, then would your bill prevent that from being within 2,000 feet of the school?
And that may be, and I don't know. I've not had that brought. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you think it's a valid concern, then I'd be glad to see something that, if you wanted to amend this. I'm not but that being said, I don't know of any case that there's a reproductive health center that doesn't perform abortions that would be concerned with it. And maybe there is.
How about if you don't know how reproductive health works, you don't make laws on it?
Yes, sir. You don't have concerns that they could be against doing that violation of law.
I don't think so.
Okay. But you're not trying to stop reproduction, are you? Reproductive health. Is that a no? I think that, okay, let me ask you this. Is what you're trying to stop the act of abortion within the walls of a building within 2,000 square feet, 2,000 feet of a public school?
Sorry, ask that question.
Is what you're trying to prevent walls of that building that is closer than 2,000 feet from the public building.
What I'm trying to prevent is the exposure of the children that are going to and from that school to that act, the whole atmosphere around what that clinic actually has going on outside of its facilities, that it's witness to all of those children. That's what I'm looking at.
Well, obviously, they're not gonna witness what's inside, going on inside the building.
Have you driven by one?
No,
I drive by, it's pretty evident as to what's going on.
Okay, that's because of protesters with the signs and so forth.
Not just protesting, I mean, it's on both sides. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that's done on the other side to try to combat it's
I think that, I mean,
a volatile atmosphere
I meant,
that
when I
our
said
children just get
protest,
subjected
when
to.
I said protest, I meant both sides.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
protest for, protest
Right,
against.
right.
The
Protesting something, aren't
protesting something, yeah. Now, let's say there's no abortion activity, the act of abortion is not being performed within that, walls of that building, okay? Would your bill prevent, a group being in that building for examination of women and perhaps prescribing, contraceptives?
I don't think so.
That's not your intent to do this. I do think you have a problem, possible problem with the reproductive health centers that could be said anything good with reproductive. That's pretty general. I'm not going to amend it. I'll just bring it up and then I'll let you handle your own bill. Thank you very much.
Chair recognizes the lady from Madison, Ms. Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Gentleman here.
Yes, ma'am.
I do think the gentleman before me brought up a good point. If you recall, I mentioned the fact that my OBGYN was where they had protests going on, and it was obvious that I was not, or maybe it wasn't, but anyway, I understand. But that's a legitimate concern and point. And it makes sense that if the way the bill reads deals with reproductive health, that seems to be a misnomer anyway when we look at the centers anyway. The general idea is that is all that occurs there. And so that could be parent planhood, could be providing medication for birth control, which is a job of an OBGYN. It could be pap smears. It could be any of those tests that are necessary. So when the term, I just thought he honed in on a real legitimate concern. And I don't know, you sound like you were open for an amendment.
I could see if there was a concern, if anybody really wants to put the effort into putting an amendment together. I'm not gonna fight something that may protect. There hasn't been, this has gone through public hearings and committees, and no one's ever actually brought an amendment to try and deal with that. So if there's no one that feels enough about it to put that amendment together and let me see what their concerns are, then it's not something that is originating on this side. But just like, as always, we've worked together on legislation, and I'm always open to trying to make the best piece of legislation. But again, people have never brought forth that and said, this is what we want to see in it that would make it better. And you have, but I may have not taken it, but they haven't brought that particular concern.
Did we just not have that conversation earlier? And I could see why the gentleman would say, I'm not going to deal with that because you're probably going to table it. But
I might not. I've taken amendments. I took Representative
But
Wood.
so, based on what you heard, did that make sense to you to the point
It
that?
could.
you
I would like to
consider?
see it.
And so
I really
the
would.
amendment would be that anyone that is dealing with issues such as OBGYN.
You need some clarification to vote yes with me on this bill.
I don't guarantee you that, but I tell you what, I think that amendment is worth considering. I really do.
I would love to see it if you want to work it up.
All right, I'm on my way.
Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson, Ms. Coleman.
Thank you so much, Ms. Weeks, for the recognition. I just wanted, this goes actually back to the gentleman from Collier County's question concerning the reproductive services. So I already had issue with the bill already, but I don't know what is going on. I'm still a limited voice 1 month later. Yeah, sometimes something's going on with me. Somebody doesn't want to hear me talk. Well, I cannot get this voice all the way back. But the question I have after listening to the representative's question about the reproductive services, I just did some general Google searches, what comes up when you look up reproductive services. And what comes up number one is infertility. There are all of these various types of clinics that refer to themselves as reproductive services that offer opportunities for people who cannot have children in the traditional sense, an option to try to have a biological child, where it's IVF, whether it is tubal reversals, all kinds of services that are provided. But if you put that language in the bill that actually says reproductive services, now you're limiting those people who are trying to bring life into the world from having an opportunity. If the space is available, if the location is right, from providing an opportunity to bring life with that verbiage in the bill. So I'm not filibustering, I just want to make note to the gentleman.
And I think if there is something that you needed clarification on, but again, this has not been offered in any venue up until now as to something that concerned anybody to, and so it concerns me that it may be a method.
No, I'm
I know,
not.
and I trust you. I know. When you say
When I stand here and
that,
tell you I'm not filibustering your
Right.
bill, I'm not filibustering your bill. I have a valid issue when it comes to that. Now, I could have talked about a whole lot of other issues,
but you know what I'm saying.
but I hadn't even planned on getting up to talk.
That, and I'm not talking about you, even at the microphone now, if somebody brings up, well, I have this concern, but then they don't ever.
Well, it happens all the time. I know maybe it hasn't happened since you've been in this body, but it happens. I mean, I've been here 4 terms. It happens all the time where maybe someone hadn't thought of an issue before. Maybe when you listen to somebody else, it drops something. That's what we do for each other as members. And although I don't like your bill, this might be an opportunity to make it a little bit better so you don't have even more pushback from the bill. So it may be unusual for you to have an amendment to come up on the floor, but it's not. I mean, the culture of this body has not ever been, prior to the past 4 years, that you don't bring your amendments. So again, I'm not trying to filibuster, because I think I really could sit down and I really need some coffee or some tea or something on my throat. But this is a valid concern when it comes to that. So I'm hoping, you did say you were amenable to the amendment, and I want to work with the representative to make sure that it does take care of that. But you don't want
No, that's
people
never
who
been
actually
the
bring
intent.
life into the
That has
world.
never been the intent.
Okay.
This
Thank you.
legislation.
All right, I tell you what, Mr. Henry, while you're working on the amendment with Ms. Hall, let's go ahead and take a message from the governor. I'll ask the clerk to call House Bill 89.
Message from the governor, ladies and gentlemen, I am returning to you the body in which it originated, House Bill number 89, without my signature. Respectfully, Robert Bentley, Governor.
Mr. Wood of Calhoun.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the House. House Bill 89 is a local bill for Calhoun County only. What it does